Good morning, friends, and thank you so much for coming back to school today. It is Monday, so we are going to be working on some reading and writing. Usually I record them in 2 separate lessons, but today it is all the same lesson, so this is the only video that you need to watch. What we are going to be working on today is at the end of the lesson, you should be able to say, I can read and spell words in the at word family. So I'll read that one more time. See if you can read it with me. I can read and spell words in the at word family. So this is something that we did work on during the school year a little bit, and it was one of the last things that we did before we started learning at home. Do you remember what it means when words are part of a word family? So in a word family, words that are in the same word family, they sound the same at the end, so they could rhyme, and they're spelled the same at the end. So let's take a look at this. If we are working on the at family, the at word family, what letters do you think I need to have for at? I need Annie Apple and Talking Test, the letter A and the letter T, because A says a, T says t. So when we read it together, we have at, the at word family. And when we have the at word family, we can put different letters in front of it to spell different words. Now we already know how to read this part. Let's read it one more time. At. All right? So now the only thing that you need to pay attention to is what letter I put in front. And you need to think about what sound that letter makes, and you are going to be able to read all of these words. All right? I'm going to get a different colored marker so you can see the letters that I'm adding. Okay. And after we do some practice with reading these words and making different words in the at family, I have a poem for us to read too. So, at. I'm going to start by putting a letter here. And I want you to think in your head about what this word might say. I put the letter H here. We know this says at. What sound does H make? Harry Hatman goes, so let's read that. At. At. Hat. All right, let's try again with a new letter. All right, ready? I added the letter B. What sound does B make? B, B. At, B, at. Bat. See, they all sound the same at the end. We hear the at. It's spelled the same, A-T. The only thing that I'm changing is the letter in front. I want you to help me this time. How can I change the word bat to the word cat? Cat. How can I change bat to the word cat? That's what we want to spell. So first we have to think, what makes the k sound that we hear in cat? There's 2 letters, kicking king and clever cat. Which one do you think that it is? clever cat, all right? Because a lot of the times there are some words that start with K, but most of the time if you hear that sound, it's usually going to start with the C. So we take the B out and we add the C. Now it says k-at, cat. How can we change the word cat to the word rat? Rat. We read a story about mice, so I'm making that connection because a lot of the times rats kind of look like mice. They're very similar. How can we make cat rat? Well, we don't need the C anymore. Rat. Red Robot makes that sound. Rat. Now, I have a tricky one. What about the word that? Like, that chair over there looks very comfy. That. I'm going to give you a hint. It's not just one letter that we need to add. We need to add 2 letters. What 2 letters make the sound? Do you remember? The same that starts with thumb. It is T-H. There, it's just the thunder, right? At. That. Awesome job, my friends. So word families are pretty easy if you just remember what the endings sound like. We can switch words, we can move the letters around, we can create new words. And you guys did a great job when we made our house, our word family houses. You all got index cards and you wrote the different words on them and drew pictures to show different words that belong in the at word family. So what we are going to do now, I have a poem that I would really like for you to help me read. And there's a lot that is written on here, so I'm just going to cover the top because we don't really need to look at that. Okay, here's our title. Remember, our title is the name of the thing that we are reading. And I need you to help me read this title. If it isn't in the at family, it is a sight word. So you should be able to read this all by yourself. Where do we start? At the left or the right? The left. We always start in the left and we move in the reading direction. So let's start on the left. The cat and the rat. Let's read that one more time. The cat and the rat. Let's make a prediction before we read this. What do you think this is going to be about? It's a short poem. Do you think it's going to be about a lion? I don't think so. It's probably going to be about a cat and a rat, right? Let's go ahead and read it. The cat saw a rat, and the rat was fat. The cat chased the rat. Then the rat sat on a mat. There were a lot of words in that poem that belong to the at word family. I have a colored pencil right here. And I need you to help me find those at word family words. Let's see, hopefully that works and I'll be able to write on it. So it's a little tricky to set things up. Here we go. Perfect. So the cat and the rat. Are there any at word family words in our title? The cat and the rat. I can find 2. I'm going to underline cat, and I'm going to underline rat. I know both of them belong to my at word family because they end in the letters A, T. And they have the same sound, which is at. They rhyme. Let's keep reading. The cat saw a rat. I found those same two words in my sentence right here. So I'm going to underline cat and rat. And the rat was... Do you know what that word says? Let's take a look. It ends in AT, I know that, but it has a letter that we did not go over before. What letter is that? The letter F. And what sound does the letter F for firefighter Fred make? Right? So if we know that the F goes and the ending sounds like at, we can put those together. At. Fat. Let's read that sentence again. And the rat was fat. So we see the word rat again and fat. Before we keep moving on, what is this symbol right there called? Do you remember? It's called an exclamation mark. And when we see those, we need to make sure that we are reading with energy and we're excited, right? The first line, that doesn't have anything. We don't need to be that excited. We can read the cat saw a rat. But then this one, we see the exclamation mark, so we need to change our voice. And the rat was fat. The cat chased the rat. Then the rat sat. Then the rat sat on a mat. Then the rat sat on a mat. Awesome job, my friends. I'm sure you were following along at home, and I bet you were able to read all of those words. If we take one more look at this paper, I'll move it up a little bit so you can see. It has space down here for us to practice writing those words. Here you go. The first one, do we think that that is a picture of a mouse or a rat? I think it's a mouse. Is that a mouse? No, I don't think so. I think I changed my mind. We just read about a rat, so this is probably a rat. So, help me spell the word rat. What do we hear in the beginning of at? The letter R. At. It's the at word family. So what two letters do we need at the end? AT. And when I write my words, I make sure that it takes up that whole space, right? We don't want our floating letters. Next word to write. What is this a picture of? A cat. Now we know that it's an at word family, but what sound is in the beginning of that word cat? Cat. The letter C. We always start at the top. C-A-T. When we do talking tests, she's very tall, right? She stretches all the way from the top all the way down to the bottom. There is an arrow pointing to the square thing on the ground in this picture. What did we read in the story that could be this picture right here? Have any of you seen a doormat before? Maybe you have that at home. So this is a mat. How do we spell the word mat? It's also in the at word family, but we hear the letter M in the beginning. Remember Munching Mike, he needs his wheels to make sure that he moves. So those three are on the bottom. If we flipped it upside down, that would not be the letter M. But what letter would that be? A W, right? And we don't want that. So we have M, A, T. Last word that I need you to help me write. What is that a picture of? A hat. What letter does hat start with? Harry had me in the letter H. We start all the way at the top. Hat. Awesome, my friends. So we did a lot in that lesson right there. We practiced reading words that were in the at family. Then we practiced writing words that were in the at family. And I think that you guys did an awesome job. What you can do now is you can go back onto the website and check and see if there's an activity that you want to do to practice what we had just learned, all right? So go ahead and do that, and then I will see you online for our virtual learning.